Series 6 was Matt Smith's second run as the 11th Doctor, and it came out in 2011, and it's now gotten a lot of people that don't like it. There is obviously reasons why people don't like it, but in my opinion, I think it's a very underrated series. It's got some very good episodes, it's got some okay episodes, and probably even the bad ones, in my opinion, are decent enough. And there's been worse seasons out there to watch for Doctor Who. You have season 11 and season 12. So let's start it up. So I've recently watched Series 6 just to refresh my mind, get my knowledge, go, what I think from now on, say, is this as good as I expected it to be? Is the episodes that I thought were great and now are terrible? Are the episodes that I thought were terrible now great? And this is what I think. It all starts at episode 1 with the Impossible Astronaut, and the story arc that is the main story arc is the silence, but I would say the main story arc for the plot is the Doctor's death and how we see the Doctor subsequently dying in the very first episode, which is very unusual for Doctor Who, and I think it's the first time it's ever happened in New Who. It's because it's a Americanized audience now. There's a lot of Americans that watch Doctor Who now. I like how they set the first episode in America, in Utah, so that's a nice nod to American viewers. And overall, I think this is probably where they brought one of the best villains that were ever created. In my opinion, the Wicked Angels is way better, but you've got the Scientists a close second. And it's just a great idea where you can't remember them if you look away, and they just wipe out. You just remember them being wiped out. And I really like also that you've got a new TARDIS team for a couple of episodes, which is the Doctor, Amy, Rory, and River. Which, if you don't know, spoiler alert, but you should know it came out like about 10, 11 years ago. That, well, more than that, about 12, 13 years ago. That they are all, it's like one big family, like true family, because of it being that Amy's the mother of River, Rory's the father of River, River's the daughter of Amy and Rory, and the Doctor becomes, at the end of the series, the husband of River. So Amy and Rory's like the father and mother-in-law of the Doctor, which it's just a bit weird, but it kind of works a bit because like he's like a father figure to them in series 5, but then they become a father figure from series 6 because of it being that they are technically his mother-in-law and father-in-law. But overall, with all the episodes, there are some pretty good ones. I think there's one episode which is probably the best episode, one of the best episodes of Doctor Who, in my opinion, is in this series. There is also, I think, my favourite Matt Gatiss script is also in the episode. So we've got The Impossible Astronaut and Day of the Moon. That is a good steady two-parter. You get new characters, you get the new villains that actually become the main series arc villains, which I think is the first time in New Who where new villains that are from the show have become like the main villain of a story arc. And then you have The Astronaut, where we find out that there's a girl in the astronaut suit, and we find out that's River. So we're going through River's timeline, but we're going through it from when she's a kid and when she started up being River Song. And this actually shows the origins of who is River Song, which everyone asked, who is River Song? This is when we actually have the answers. And I honestly like it because it's something different that we haven't actually seen before. So with the next episode, you have The Curse of the Black Spot. Now this one's a very unique one. Some people don't like it, some people think it's alright. I think it's a pretty good episode. It goes through like the dark mythology of like sirens, and then you think, oh, they're bad, but there's a little twist that they're good and they're nurses. And it's just played on that mythical element. with the pirates too. And I don't think you get bored at all because it's very fast paced. There's a lot of things going on. They've got the sun that gets introduced about halfway through the episode. They have to run away from the siren. They have to stop the water, the mirrors. It's a very clever thing how it's not the water she goes through. She goes through reflection. We find out it's a ship within a ship. And actually, Rory dies again in this. There's a lot of deaths in this series, especially compared to series 5, which was also a lot there, but not as much, I think, because you got the Doctor's death in episode 1, and then you got Amy, who kind of dies in episode 2 because she gets taken and everyone thinks she's dead, but she's awakened somewhere else. And then you've got Rory that kind of dies in episode 3 again, kind of, but then, well, he does die because he dies from drowning, but then they resuscitate him, or Amy does. And then one of my favourite episodes, The Doctor's Wife. This one, a lot of people love. This is probably like people's highlight, probably best episode in the series. The plot and the story arc, it's very unique, and I like how it's woven together with the house, the people, and the Ood. And I just love Aloud coming back. Aloud coming back is just great. This is one of the episodes where it's not really connected up to it. I think this is actually the only episode that might not connect up to it because I can't think of any plot points that are in this episode compared to the others. There's also Idris as the TARDIS, which I like how it makes sense why. So the house was so powerful, he was able to take the essence of the TARDIS, throw him away, and give him and put him in a body, so he can control the TARDIS, or it can control the TARDIS. One quote I like from the 11th Doctor in this one, where the house goes,
"Just as easily here as anywhere. Fear me. I've killed hundreds of Time Lords.
Fear me. I've killed all of them."
And it just gives a parallel to the Time War. But I think that's the only reference to like the past I think it gives in this one. Solid episode. And that's it of my mini review part 1. Stay tuned for part 2. See you guys later.